Have you ever felt like you were standing in your own way? Like no matter how much you want to heal, you keep repeating old patterns. That's self-sabotage. And the truth is, a lot of us struggle with it. But here's the good news. You don't have to stay stuck. Hi family, welcome back to If Only One Overcomes. I'm Katie Lee, and I'm so grateful you're here. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is a space for healing, growth, and encouragement. Last week we tackled fear and how it can stop us from moving forward. Today, we're going to talk about something even sneakier, self-sabotage. Sometimes it's not fear or other people holding us back. It's us. It's the patterns we repeat, the excuses we make, and the way we block our own healing. But today, we're breaking that cycle. In order to break the cycle, we must have an understanding of what self-sabotage is. Self-sabotage happens when we consciously or unconsciously do things to keep us stuck. It looks like procrastinating, pushing people away, doubting ourselves, or going back to situations we know aren't good for us. It's like having one foot on the gas and the other on the brake. You want to heal, but something inside keeps slowing you down. Have you ever felt like you were standing in your own way? Like no matter how much you want to heal, you keep repeating old patterns. That's self-sabotage. And the truth is, a lot of us struggle with it. But here's the good news. You don't have to stay stuck. Here are 4 common signs of self-sabotage. 1. Negative self-talk. I'll never heal. I'm not strong enough. This is just how I am. That voice in your head can be louder than any outside opposition, and often it's repeating what someone else once said about you or what trauma convinced you to believe. But healing starts when you begin to challenge that voice and replace it with the truth. You are not your past. You are not your fear. You are not your failure. Affirm this instead. I am healing. I am growing. I am worthy of peace. 2. Procrastination. You know what you need to do, but you just don't. You delay the therapy session. You avoid the hard conversation. You scroll instead of journaling. Procrastination in healing is often not laziness. It's fear disguised as delay. Sometimes we don't want to start because we're afraid of what we'll have to confront. But small steps still count. You don't have to tackle everything at once. Just begin. Healing doesn't require urgency. It requires honesty. 3. Repeating unhealthy cycles. Going back to what broke you, reopening old wounds with the same people, thinking that this time will be different without doing anything differently. This is the cycle that hurts the most because it feels familiar, but familiar isn't always healthy, and peace isn't always found in what's comfortable. It's found in what's right. You can honor your growth by choosing differently. Ask yourself, does this decision support the version of me I'm becoming? 4. Fear of success. What happens if I actually heal? What if I'm happy and it gets taken away? Am I allowed to live a life that feels light? Sometimes we've lived in survival mode for so long that joy feels suspicious. We start to believe healing will always come with a cost, or that we're not worthy of the wholeness we're praying for. But God didn't bring you this far only to bring you halfway. You don't have to earn your healing, just receive it and give yourself permission to enjoy what God is restoring. Let's look at 2 biblical perspectives. Romans 7:15. I do not understand what I do, for what I want to do, I do not, but what I hate, I do. John 8:36. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. Now, let's talk about how to break the cycle. 1. We have to identify the patterns. We can't heal what we refuse to face. Sometimes self-sabotage looks like procrastination, isolating yourself, pushing good people away, or constantly second-guessing God's promises. It may be rooted in fear, past trauma, or a false belief about yourself. Ask yourself, when do I tend to shrink back? What do I do when I'm on the edge of breakthrough? Awareness isn't shame, it's strategy. You can't break a cycle you won't name. What's one way you've sabotaged your own growth? Recognizing it is the first step to breaking free. 2. Replacing lies with truth. We all have internal scripts that play on repeat. I'm not enough. People always leave. I'll never get it right. But those aren't God's words about you. So we have to replace the lies with truth. Use scriptures to reframe your thinking. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalms 139:14. I can do all things through Christ. Philippians 4:13. Speak affirmations out loud. Write them down. Post them on your mirror. You have to become the narrative of your own healing, not fear. So challenge the inner voice that says you're not good enough. 3. Take small, consistent steps. Don't wait for motivation. It's not always coming. You can start by creating habits that leads to change. You see, healing is about progress, not perfection. So start small. Set a 10-minute timer to journal or pray. Go for a daily walk and speak life over yourself. Turn off negative self-talk before it spirals. Progress doesn't require perfection. It requires commitment. It's okay to heal in tiny steps. Movement is still movement. Remember, healing is about progress, not perfection. 4. Surround yourself with encouragement. You don't have to do this alone. Healing thrives in community. When you're trying to unlearn patterns, it helps to have people who remind you of who you really are, not just who you've been. Be intentional. Join a support group or online community. Let a trusted friend or mentor speak into your growth. Limit access to voices that drain or discourage you. Surrounding yourself with the right voices protects your progress. You don't have to do this alone. Get around people who will hold you accountable and lift you up. 5. Trust God's plan for you. God doesn't want you to stay stuck. He has more for you, but you have to be willing to step into it. Self-sabotage keeps us living beneath the promises of God. But here's the truth. He never meant for survival to be your final destination. He wants you to flourish, to thrive, to live in freedom, joy, and purpose. Ask yourself, what would my healing look like if I really believed God had more for me? You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to take the next faithful step and trust Him to meet you there. Well, family, we are at the end. This week, take a moment and ask yourself, where am I holding myself back? Then choose one step to change it. Next week, we're diving into forgiveness, why it's necessary for our healing, and how to let go of past hurt. If today's episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who might need it. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, or connect with me on social media at If Only One Overcomes. I would love to hear from you. And as always, remember, your life is too important because God has a plan and a purpose for your life. Until the next episode, God bless.